around and collect it, and we will ask as many questions as we can. These are the candidates for Round Lake Park, and we have the two mayoral candidates with us. So when you go to vote, these two candidates will be in one section. It's Linda Lucasen and Kathleen Pender. The two candidates who are running for village clerk, Karen Eggert and Christine Luchek, are not here. Is there anyone who has a prepared statement from either of those candidates? No? All right, so we will not have them to ask of any questions of. And then we are missing Mr. Seminary and Mr. Robert H. Seminary and Jean Galford are not here. Does anyone have a statement that they've asked you to read for them? Okay, then that leaves us with Robert Soretti, Rayanne McCarty-Robles, Donna Wagner, and David Christensen. So I thank you all for staying. This is a long evening. Thank you to those of you in the audience for remaining here for to support the hardy souls who remain here. We will have a 1-minute opening statement from each of the candidates. And remember, the first two are running for mayor, the others are running for trustee, but the questions, of course, would apply to all of them. So we'll begin with Ms. Lucasen. 1 minute, please.
Good evening. Hello, my name is Linda Lucasen, and I'm from the Voice of Tomorrow, and I'm running for mayor of Round Lake Park. My experience has been for 16 years. I've been the village clerk, and the last 2 years I've been a trustee. I received my registered and master's clerk status. I attend professional classes. The last few I have attended was yours, mine, ours, opportunity for conflicts. I thought that might be something I could use, and budget training and supervisor training. Being part of the board, I have worked very diligently to improve the services for the office and created some off-site selling vehicle stickers to our residents of Saddlebrook Farms and Timber Creek as a service. We've opened the doors for a polling place.
Thank you. Okay. Ms. Pender, 1 minute opening statement, please.
Hello, my name is Kathleen Pender. I was born in Chicago. I went to St. Benedict High School. I was a student at the College of Lake County and still am from time to time. Education is important to me. I also went to the Academy of Municipal Excellence that was sponsored by the Illinois Municipal League and the University of Illinois. It was a year-long program. I think that prepared me to be a public servant. My long work history is mostly in business and customer service. I would bring reliability, accountability, an open mind, a fresh perspective, and an open door policy to the village of Round Lake Park.
Thank you. Mr. Soretti, 1 minute opening.
Hi, my name is Bob Soretti. Never mind a Robert there. I've been a trustee for 4 years now, and well, first of all, I want to say that I've lived in Round Lake Beach since 1969 up until about 7 years ago, when I moved to Round Lake Park. My wife and I, we've been married since 1969. We have a daughter and 2 boys. And like I said, I've been a trustee for 4 years now. My experience is that. I'm also on the board of directors of SWALCO. I'm on a commissioner on the Round Lake Management Commission, and various other. I'm also on the Finance Committee and on Public Works. And I'm looking forward to serving the people for another 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McCarty, 1 minute.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, let me say thank you for coming out today. My name is Rayanne McCarty. I currently own a business in Round Lake Park off of our main street and had it for the past 7 years. As for why I want to run for trustee, I've grown up in Round Lake Park. all of my life. My family's business is here, my friends, my family. Round Lake Park has been very good to me, and this is my opportunity to give back. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Wagner, 1 minute.
My name is Donna Wagner. I'm a lifelong resident of Round Lake Park. I still live in the same home I was born and raised in, where I raised my daughter, who was just recently graduated from Roosevelt University. Very proud mom. I want to give back to my community and become a trustee because I've always been interested in our village affairs. And living where I live, there are issues that arise that I believe have yet to be fully handled, and I believe I can bring some new ideas to the board and the concerns of the residents and get those addressed and taken care of while moving Round Lake Park into the future for the next generation to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Christensen, opening 1 minute.
Good evening. My name is Dave Christensen. I have past experience on the Round Lake Park Board. I was there for 5 years. I have a long record of public and civic service. I spent 10 years in the United States Navy and was in 5 combat zones during that time. I currently serve as a member of the Illinois Terrorism Task Force. I'm a past president of the International Association of Emergency Managers and a past president of the Illinois Emergency Services Management Association. I have experience with local government, and I have experience with international government. I have traveled around the world. I've seen democracy in action, and I've seen tyranny in action. And I'm always impressed by some of the newer democracies. And I was in Korea, and 98% of the registered voters there vote. And I'd like to see something like that in Round Lake Park, where we're involved, where the citizens are involved, and that's what I want to do, is help open up our government to our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, well, we're going to rotate the order again for the candidates. So the first question will go to Ms. Pender, and it has to do with vacant residences or businesses. What are your thoughts as to how to either demolish or release or fill the vacancies?
As far as vacant residences, one of the things that our slate has talked about is about the feasibility of maybe buying some of these houses at a very reasonable price and maybe rehabbing them and selling them at a profit. I think that would be a wonderful approach, trying to attract maybe young families, to the village of Round Lake Park. As far as businesses, economic development is on everyone's mind, and I think that I would possibly want to hire a part-time economic development person, or maybe share those services with another community, one of the surrounding communities, if they were agreeable to that. I think those are my thoughts on it.
Thank you. Mr. Soretti, vacant homes and businesses.
Well, businesses, we're in the process now of doing our downtown area as far as improvements, and we're hoping to draw businesses in that way. I'm sure we will. People will see the beautification of the downtown. It's going to come very soon. It will be completed very soon. And that is one reason why I believe that we're going to get some businesses back. We do not have that many open or vacant buildings, and the ones we do, I'm sure we're going to fill in that way. As far as residents, hold on, give it a 15-second here. I'm just going to let it go with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McCarty, vacant residences and businesses.
As for the businesses, again, with the development of our Main Street, we're hoping that we will be able to beautify it in order to make it more attractive for other businesses, to come in. With our Main Street looking beautiful, with it being redone, will hopefully attract more residents to come to a beautiful area like that. So again, Main Street is an important part of Round Lake Park. It's the face of our community. I think it's important not just for the businesses, but for the residents as well. And in order to get that finished so we can all have a beautiful place to live.
Thank you. Ms. Wagner, vacant homes and businesses.
The vacant homes, I've been looking into the Attorney General. She won the $300 million from the national with the banks over the foreclosures and the way that the mortgages and stuff were written. $70 million of that is being put aside for communities like ours and other surrounding communities that have been devastated by abandoned and vacant homes. They will help you come in, you can apply for the grants, they will buy homes, help you purchase the homes that are underwater, that will not be sold, and we can turn those into community parks or community gardens. The other best effect of this too is they will also bring a counseling service into the community to help current homeowners that are in a financial crisis hold on to their homes, which I think everybody in their community would want more homeowners. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Christensen, vacant homes and businesses.
For the vacant homes, I was instrumental when I worked for Lake County in bringing in a hazard mitigation plan for the county. And that's the first step in applying for mitigation dollars. So I would push for those homes that are at risk for environmental hazards and flood hazards, that we purchase those with mitigation dollars that are available at the state. And then the other side of that, one of our neighbors was in a purchase program where they purchased homes that were derelict or had been abandoned and improved them or build new homes to maintain the tax base. And that's what I would do, is to revert those using those two programs. As for businesses, it has to be attractive, and there has been some work done to improve the attractiveness. Now we need to promote the diversity, a reason to slow down on Main Street and say, I need to come back there, and I would work to support that.
Thank you. Ms. Lucasen, empty homes and businesses.
I think once we finish our downtown area, we will attract new businesses, which then I think will attract people to our area. Build it up, our property values will go up, that'll attract more people. I also think that working with our businesses, our business owners, form a committee, let them give some input so we can build up our businesses, attract more people to our town.
Thank you. Okay, the next question will start with Mr. Ceretti, and it has to do with communication with the residents. If elected, do you have any plans to support improving the village website or improve communications with the residents in general?
As far as improving communications, we really want to have a high-profile open door policy with communicating with them, have them come in anytime. And I'm retired. I'm at their. I'm trying to look for the word here. I am retired, and I'm looking forward to speaking with them anytime they want to come and speak with me. I've got time to do that any time of the day. We have a problem as far as communication with Saddlebrook Farms. They are not with the village itself as far as a lot of the communication goes, and I want to improve that through our website. And I am going around to different residents myself and trying to talk with them. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McCarty, how would you improve communications?
The open door policy, I believe, is very important. I believe residents should be able to come up to any board member, any trustee, and voice their concerns. As for the website, yes, I believe that should be, anything that's new in the village should be posted on it. That way it's an easy form of communication for residents to see what's new, what's going on in the village. Any agendas, meeting minutes, anything like that should always be updated. And again, I not only believe that our doors should be open, but we should be able to go out to the residents. One of those ways would be maybe bringing our festival back. It's a way of being able to form a sense of community in our area where the village goes out to the people and people can come out too. So those are just a couple ways that I thought maybe we could help bring our community together.
Thank you. Ms. Wagner, communications, the website and others?
Our website definitely could reach out to more residents than it currently does. Our slate, we've been talking about a program called Let's Talk, where we reach out to every quarter and every resident that we can via the website, through emails, through newsletters, having some town hall meetings to find out what their cares and concerns are so they can be addressed. One thing I have found by walking the streets is that a lot of them are intimidated of bringing an issue to the board because they feel of repercussion. And I think that definitely is something that needs to be targeted so that they can feel more open to come to us with any kind of concern. So I definitely think our lines of communication could be very broad.
Thank you. Mr. Christensen, communications and the website?
The website requires some improvement. Having hosted several websites, having worked with them, working for government, you have to have a drive to the website. People are not going to keep visiting websites. So there has to be a drive, even on our signs, as people enter it, actually have the website name and as a flag. As for the openness and open door policies, those work if people walk through them. For 5 years, I sat on that village board, and rarely did we have a resident come to that board. But I did see them at the coffee shops, at the bars, at the local convenience stores. I believe that for openness and for communication, we need to go to the resident. Whether it's walking down the street, whether it's a coffee with the board at a local business, that's what it's going to take, is actually going out and meeting and talking with the people.
Thank you. Ms. Lucasen, communications and the website?
We definitely need to improve our website, and I'd like to see on our website the list of businesses.
Oh, there we go again. No, mine's up.
Hello?
Oh, there you go.
The list of our businesses and promote them. Any information we can possibly put on our website, it needs to be there. Any activity that we hold, it needs to be there. So we're working toward that, and we definitely will include that. As far as communication with our residents, I think open door policy all the way, make myself available and our elected officials. I don't think we've had that where we've been available, and whatever it takes to be available for them. Make them comfortable, invite them in. Board meetings are not always inviting, and people come to board meetings when there's a problem. But we want to cut off the problems and meet with our residents and hear what they have to say.
Thank you. Ms. Bender, the communications and the website.
I agree that the website does need some work, but one thought that always comes to mind is that I don't think everyone has a computer and necessarily is going to visit the website. One of the things that I thought of and talked with my slate members is that if I was mayor, I would certainly expect them on a regular basis to be out walking the street and talking to residents and finding out what their concerns are, finding out what they want to see. I think another thing that Dave mentioned is we have a cafe called Ginny's in Round Lake Park, and I would love to buy coffee for whatever residents were interested in going and talking to us. And I think sometimes in a boardroom, that table divides you from the residents. It is sometimes intimidating. So I would rather see them at the American Legion or at Ginny's Cafe, and I think you would have a more comfortable conversation.
Okay, thank you. All right, our next question will start with Ms. McCarty, and it has to do with the downtown Main Street. The writer says, it seems that our downtown Main Street is not as pedestrian-friendly as other nearby communities. Do you think ours should be friendly and more accessible, and how would you support making that happen?
Right now, we do have crosswalks available. The streets before, and I can attest to it from living on and owning a business on Main Street, the sidewalks were terrible and crumbling, and now that they've been redone, they are so much more accessible now. They're new, the parking areas have new pavers on there, they're beautiful, and we're looking forward to the landscaping that's supposed to go in this year too. So right now, I believe that they are fairly accessible. Again, we do have the crosswalks that have gone in. I have also seen that there's, signs available to mark out where the crosswalk areas are. Maybe a couple more signs and maybe being able to, because 134, again, is a state route, being able to work with the state to maybe lower the speed limit would also be nice.
Thank you. Ms. Wagner, the accessibility of the downtown area.
Well, we've made great strides with revitalizing Main Street through the grant. Growing up there as a kid, it was a great place to shop, to walk. I think that we've come a long way in the last couple of years with the grant with the sidewalks.
Try one of the others, maybe.
I think we've come a long way. We are yet to be finished yet. I know that we have the landscaping to do and that the lighting. And I believe there's a few other things, but as a resident, I only know what I hear at board meetings and talking to the business owners and stuff, so I am anxiously awaiting the finish. I really like to think it would be a beautiful place once it is completed.
Thank you. Mr. Christensen, the downtown area?
As I drive to work each day and I go out there and I see where the bus stop is, the bus stop's not in the commercial area. And I think I would work with Pace to move that bus stop to the middle of those blocks so that people are actually waiting in front of the businesses, and that's one. I think we have to rethink the parking there. The parking blocks of view of the businesses. Some of the businesses have improved their storefronts or what have you. I've seen the accidents where, I remember the one a couple of years ago, the car's backing out and a motorcyclist was hurt pretty badly. It's very dangerous, that type of parking. I think we need to reevaluate it. I won't park on Main Street because of the danger of pulling out. So I think we need to rethink that. The sidewalks, the improvements are great. Running up and down there, I don't trip in the big hole. So I think some improvements have been made, and I think we need to carry it out further. Thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Lucasen, the downtown area?
We have recently spoken at a board meeting that possibly putting in an easement behind for trucks to be able to pull in or unload rather than in front of businesses. And that may be something to look into, and that would, greatly help with the parking, with blocking cars and things like that. There is an obstruction with unloading merchandise. So we want to do some sort of improvements, possibly in the back. We're limited with parking, although I think it's been greatly improved. So we're hoping that with maybe changing the way people unload their vehicles or their trucks, that will improve the obstruction.
Thank you. Ms. Pender, the downtown area? Sure. It seems that our downtown Main Street is not as pedestrian friendly as other nearby communities. Do you think ours should be friendlier, and how would you make that happen?
I agree with Dave. We need to look at the way that the parking is on Main Street. The sidewalks, it's wonderful to finally see sidewalks on Main Street, and that creates a whole bunch of possibilities. One thing that we talked about was maybe having a farmer's market at the American Legion. And what a wonderful thought it would be to think that residents could walk from their house, walk down Main Street, and maybe go into the American Legion and do something like that. Or in the past, Round Lake Park had a blues fest that they held in a park. The possibility of maybe holding it somewhere down on Main Street. I know there is some danger in crossing the street, and that is a state highway there. But I know in some communities, when they have a special event, sometimes they're able to have policemen there to walk people across the street at designated areas. I think the sidewalks have really been the best part of the whole thing.
Oh, okay, thank you. Mr. Soretti, how would you improve the downtown area?
Well, I have to say that parking is somewhat of a problem. It could be dangerous at times. There's not much we can do being Main Street is a state highway, and by lowering the speed limit, that would make it safer, definitely. That is one of my concerns. I have I go to downtown quite often to eat and so on, and parking can become a problem as far as pulling back out onto the street or backing into a parking spot. And like I say, we're limited as far as the width goes because of it being a state highway, and I think lowering the speed limit would do the right thing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next question will go to Ms. Wagner. It's a question about a TIF district, which I think has to do with giving a tax incentive to new businesses to bring them in, and then you abate their tax for a little while until they get established. It's an incentive way to bring businesses in. So it goes to Ms. Wagner. Might you look into TIF, establishing a TIF district loans for the businesses?
I would definitely have to look into that. It's not my area of expertise. I would do research on it and see what it would offer. I know the school districts do them a lot. So it would be something that I would look into. That's all I could say.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Christensen.
TIFs have real negative connotations for school districts and park district boards. It stifles their growth, or sometimes they feel it. Were we to explore a TIF, which can do a phenomenal job of bringing in businesses or allowing businesses to grow and then plugging the money back into that area, we would have to work very closely with the school district and the other taxing bodies that would be affected by the TIF. So if they were in partnership with us, if we were working together on it, I've seen a lot of positives with the TIF. Thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Lucassen, would you be in favor of working on TIF districts for business?
I don't think that we have the expertise to do that. I don't think that's something that we could use in our downtown area. I think we just don't have the expertise to do that.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Pender, would you be in favor of looking into using TIF incentives to bring in business?
I would be willing to look at it. I've heard pros and cons from different communities. There's a person I talked to in a community, Westmont, where they had attempted that, and when they lowered the taxes, the businesses would stay for a certain amount of time, but as that expired, they didn't stay, they left. So I would be willing to take a look at it, but I personally don't know if it would be a good thing or a negative thing.
Okay, Mr. Cerruti, would you support establishing TIF districts to bring in business?
To be absolutely truthful with you, I don't know too much about that. I haven't got into it, but I will. I will definitely find out more about it, and then I will have an opinion. I don't have one right now for you, and that's the best answer I can give to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. McCarty, would you support establishing TIF districts to bring in businesses?
I would have to do, again, like most people here, research whether it would be a positive or a negative for our community. It's something that, if it's positive, then great, and if it's negative, then probably not. So again, though, first and foremost would be researching it to see if it's something that would be a positive for our community.
Thank you. Okay, the next question will start with Mr. Christensen, and it has to do with the Round Lake Park law enforcement. And do you feel that Round Lake Park has the right amount of law enforcement employees? Would you want to increase, decrease, or otherwise change?
First of all, ours is a legislative role and not an administrative role, so we have to depend on the professional running the department to let us know that. I do think that we should task that administration of the police department to re-examine. We have the same number of patrol officers we had when we had a lot more territory, when we also policed Gainesville. So I think we would challenge that to work, but as on the legislative side of government, not the administrative side of government. We have to be careful about how much we meddle into those businesses, but oversight would be essential.
Thank you. Ms. Lucasen, do you think there needs to be an increase, decrease, or the same in the police department, law enforcement?
I agree that we should let our department heads make the decision, but I would like to make this comment, if I may, that when we had an additional department under us, we added no officers. We had the same amount of officers when we had 2 departments. So we've added none. In fact, those that have retired or left, we have not replaced. So I think we are really understaffed.
Thank you. Ms. Pender, how do you feel about the number of police officers for the area?
Round Lake Park has an excellent police department, and I would agree. I guess one of my issues is that they have a number of part-time police officers who are dedicated young men, but most of them work full-time in another community, so I'm sure if they're short-handed, they can't call these officers in to help because they are at another police department. So I would rather see more full-time officers, so I would say yes, we should increase the police department.
Thank you. Mr. Soretti, would you comment on the size of the police department?
Sure. Our police department right now is shorthanded. We don't have enough officers. We're on a tight budget, and the police department and the officers are doing a very good job with the staff, the amount of staff that we have on the police department. We sure would like to see and hire more officers, but right now, with the budget the way it is, we just can't do it. Our officers are good, and we've got one of the best police departments in the area. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McCarty, would you comment on the number of police officers in the area?
Yeah, like, pretty much go along with what Bob says. I'm sure our officers are overworked, but unfortunately, there's only so much that can be paid to them. They do a great job protecting our area. I see them up and down the street all the time. They just do a fantastic job, again, protecting our area. So it'd be nice to see more of them out there. If the budget was allowed, it'd be great, but I think they're doing a great job with what they're able to work with now.
Thank you. And Ms. Wagner, how do you feel about the number of police officers available?
I believe that we are understaffed, and I understand the budget crunch doesn't allow us to hire anymore, but I do believe that the department that we do have, they are handling what is occurring in our town, and they're doing an excellent job at it. We have an excellent police chief who does his job, and he does it very well. So yes, I think we are definitely in need of some more officers, but our budget does not allow it.
Thank you. Okay, we'll start the cycle back over again with Ms. Lucasen here for the next question. And it has to do with your commitment to this job, and the writer wants to be assured that you are determined to stay on the board and give it the full time it requires.
Yes, I am committed to giving it full time. I currently have been an employee of the College of Lake County for 20 years, and my retirement is in. So I know that it's going to take full-time, but with full-time hours. I will assure that I will be there, just as I've been for the last 16 years. More hours and dedication, but that's what I enjoy doing, serving my community and my residents.
Thank you. Ms. Pender, assurances about your commitment to the job and the time.
I would be fully committed to the Village of Round Lake Park. I actually am retired from the U.S. Postal Service. I do work part-time now, about 12 hours a week, and I'm willing to give that up should I be elected mayor and spend full-time hours at the Village of Round Lake Park. I'd like to have an open door policy. I'd like residents to be able to contact me whenever they have any concerns or issues. So yes, I would be fully committed.
Thank you. Mr. Soretti, your commitment to the demands of the job?
I'm very committed to being a trustee on the village. I am retired and I dedicate a lot of time now, and I'm looking forward to keep on dedicating a lot of time. I'm on several different organizations that have to do with the village, and like I say, I'm very committed, and I am looking very forward to another 4 years of enjoying my work. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McCarty, assurances about your willingness to commit to the time required?
Absolutely, no question about it, totally 100% committed. Just being in this community for so long and working in the past with, other board members, I've been involved in other festivals and committees as I've lived in this village. And quite honestly, I'm very excited to be more involved, and I hope I can get all of your support so that I can stay involved at a different level as opposed to just a resident or a business owner.
Thank you. Ms. Wagner, your assurances about your willingness to commit to the time required?
Most definitely. I really truly look forward to it as a resident. I would really like to step up and be on the board and have a say as to moving our town forward. So yes, most definitely 110%.
Thank you. Mr. Christensen, your assurances about your commitment?
I've committed myself to working on this board. I understand the limitations of being a trustee, so we'll be within the boundaries of what a trustee needs to put into it. There's committee work, there's board work, and then there's the volunteer work. So for those things that would make this village move forward, I would definitely make the time available to be there for that.
Thank you very much. All right, we've got one more question, and then we'll do our closing statements. And this one, I don't know the background on this. I don't know if you do, so I'll just read what the person wrote. So I don't know if it's true or not. Can you explain why the proposed transfer station was originally described as handling construction debris and later described as handling garbage? So we'll start with Ms. Pender.
Actually, to be very honest, I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay. Mr. Soretti?
Can you repeat?
Yeah, it's, the writer says that the proposed transfer station was originally described as handling construction debris and later described as handling garbage.
No, that's absolutely wrong. To begin with, the recycling part of it was is in one location, and that was all taken care of as far as being developed in that, and land acquisition, and it passed through the board, and the recycling is one thing. The transfer station, that is a separate thing, and that is going to be in a separate location. It's going to be across the street from the construction recycling plant.
Okay, thank you. We'll have to go through the group for the question. Ms. McCarty, any comments on the transfer station, whether it was construction or garbage?
No, I do not.
Okay. Ms. Wagner, any comments on the question about the transfer station?
No, not
Okay.
this time.
Mr. Christensen?
No, because I'm not aware of this switch, and
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's confusion or whatever.
Great, thank you. Ms. Lucasen, anything?
No comment on it.
Okay. All right, well, thanks for the explanation there, and I'm going to ask you one more question then, because that one went fast. Starting with Mr. Soretti, what particular thing do you have in mind to improve your village in your tenure if you get elected?
First thing on my mind to improve the village, as far as police protection, there's not too much more we can do to improve what we already have. I don't know how you can improve perfect, but that goes, as we're saying, the downtown area, that is something that's on our mind a lot. Improving that, bringing business to cut down on the taxes for the residents. We still have the landscaping to do, which is going to be started on May 1st, I believe. And we're looking at going into street lighting for the downtown area. And I believe that's one of the biggest things we have going for us right now. Another thing is keeping our budget where it's at in the black, or raising a little more money so we can have some sort of a reserve. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McCarty, any particular thing you have in mind to improve the village?
Yeah, continuing with our Main Street development. It's kind of exciting actually over the past year to see the new sidewalks go in, the pavers go in. I was on the committee in order to start all of this. It started off as walking up and down the street talking to people saying, hey, let's improve our area. And just from a little bit of talking, it's nice to see there's actually something physical that we can walk on, drive on, park on. So to continue that is very exciting for me. Again, I live on Main Street. I own a business on Main Street. I would like to see that continue, not just for myself, but for our residents too. We have a great opportunity in our area to make Round Lake Park great. And as I stated before, that Main Street is the face of our community, and I would like to see that continue to improve and be a beautiful place, not just for our residents, but for other people to come and visit us too.
Thank you. Ms. Wagner, what particular thing would you have in mind to improve the village?
Communication. I definitely would like to see more communication from the residents. We need to come together as a whole community to face the issues that will arise in our community, and we need the community to bring it all together, whether it be the Main Street development, attracting new businesses, balancing our budget. We definitely need more communication.
Thank you. Mr. Christensen, any particular thing?
Yeah, I think we need to look internally. We've done some visual things, and I think there needs to be a top-down budget review, including the authorities and approval levels of that expenditures within that budget. I think that we have to examine why that the village of Round Lake Park has lost tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars in grant funding. When I left the village to move on to Lake County, I had applied for and gotten credit for this village to have citizen corps dollars. Those dollars went unspent. These are dollars from the federal government, money that you sent to Washington. We brought it back and they went unspent. And I think that we have to look at that and find out why the village does not pursue grant opportunities that are available to it, and then even when it has the money in the bank, it chooses not to explore and expand those programs.
Thank you. Ms. Lucasen, any particular thing?
My hopes are that I would encourage partnerships to, for community education on gangs, drugs, educate our residents. I think that will make it a vast improvement. Also, I'd like to possibly use our village hall more for education, maybe offer GED and ESL classes. We have 2 very large rooms that could be utilized to help our residents.
Thank you. Ms. Pender, any particular thing you'd like to do?
Pursuing grants should be a priority. Economic development is extremely important. I think Main Street is very, very important, but there are a couple other areas that Round Lake Park needs to look at. The east section of Washington Street, there are some possibilities there, as well as Haynesville Road. There's a whole area where these roads are traveled on a regular basis by a lot of people, and I think we should really explore those possibilities.
Thank you. Thank you, candidates, for your thoughtful answers. Thank you, audience, for your questions. We'll now have a 1-minute closing statement in reverse order. So we'll start with Mr. Christensen and work our way down this way.
I thank you all for the opportunity to speak to you tonight and to answer just a couple of those questions. I've renewed my vigor to be part of the village as an elected official, and I wish the residents would become more part of their community, and we can help you do that. it's hard to tell you're in Round Lake Park. It's only drive down Haynesville Road that you actually see the sign that says Welcome to Round Lake Park, although there's a couple other ones hidden in there. So we have to develop an identity. We have to develop our own who we are and what we bring to the residents. You know, I was encouraged 20-some years ago as a young sailor when I came here, and the sense of community. And I think some of that's gone away. And as a candidate, and then hopefully as an elected official, that's what we'll do. We'll give each other a hug every once in a while and work towards, you know, a better tomorrow in Round Lake Park.
Thank you. Ms. Wagner.
Being a resident, a lifelong resident here, I really do wish to serve the community of Round Lake Park. I do have to thank Jean. She's leaving us in a very good place. She's really brought the village forward, and I really do want to be a part of moving it even more forward under Linda. I think Linda would be a great leader for our community, and I believe that she has all of the credentials to do it. And I really do hope that our slate gets in, because I really know that we are the right ones for the job. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McCarthy.
I would also like to thank everyone for giving us the opportunity to speak today. I really just look for your guys' support. I have a lot of energy, and I have this willingness to move our community forward. Again, you know, I love being involved in my community. I have been in the past, and I look to be in the future on any level, and hopefully it will be in a way where I can hopefully be supported by our residents, and you know, be able to work for you, listen to the residents, and basically that's it. Work for you. That's our job, to be there to do what you want us to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ceretti.
Well, as you can tell, I'm not much of a public speaker, but I am a doer. And I take my job very seriously, and I like to look into things and check them out. And being retired, I have a lot of time to do that, and I look forward to doing it for another 4 years. And with this slate and the present board members that we have, that will be left, I think we can really do a very excellent job on moving this village forward. Thank you. And please, don't forget to vote.
Thank you. Ms. Pender.
As a 25-year resident, I am dedicated to improving the community of Round Lake Park, as well as making life easier for our residents. I'm willing to review every aspect of village operations and services to make sure that the residents are receiving the most reasonably priced, highly professional services that can be provided. Round Lake Park has always provided excellent police and public works services. It is the job of people in public service to continually evaluate, improve, and adapt to the changes in the community, and you can count on me to do that.
Thank you. And Ms. Lucasen.
Thank you for inviting me tonight. I really, really enjoyed myself. I was a little nervous, but I'm very glad I came. I just want to say, as mayor, I will work with my board of trustees, my department heads, and my village professionals, keeping our village moving forward in the next 4 years. Thank you for this opportunity. Good night.
And let's have a round of applause for these candidates. Thank you. And that concludes our program. Thank you everyone for coming. Don't forget to vote. And thank you candidates and question writers and timers. Thank you. And ushers, thank you very much. And Mr. DiDonato from the library. We appreciate it.